I did 3 years ago. I did a producer camp on Peter Gabriel's Real World Studio. So they do this amazing project where kind of 20 people come from all over the world, and they hook us up in teams of 2, and we don't know each other. And then within 3.5 days, we have to produce a song with someone completely new that you don't know. And every day when we have etaps of working, every night we would listen to the other groups, where they are, what they struggle with, what they've learned. And this is really one of the most valuable processes I've ever been in, and something I really want to keep doing. And the first time when I went to the Peter Gabriel studio, the producer camp, I worked with Graham, and Graham, it was a really cool experience. It was a Scottish guy, like a Viking. And I remember that, you have your ideas there and you want to make something brilliant. And then you are put together with someone who has other ideas, and then it's such a valuable thing, because isn't it about life and the world that, we have ideas, we have identifications, we have belief systems, we have wishes, we have dreams, and then life comes along, other people come along, and then it's the art for me to adjust and find a common ground, So for me, making music in the producer camp has been this amazing challenge and richness, that all these cultures that meet there have to find a way together and produce something beautiful. So I worked with Graham 3 years ago, and then there was only one out of 20, one other single woman, no, 2 actually, sorry. Sandrina Sedona was there, and there was another lady, which was Jacqueline. And so out of 20 producers, there were only 3 women that were producing songs. And I already was a big fan of Sandrina. She's one of my teachers also, and she was the one putting me in contact with the Peter Gabriel studios and the producer camp. And I am forever thankful that she introduced it to me. And the other woman, Jacqueline was, I just loved her beats and her style, and I just loved what she did. So I said to her, if we ever come back to the Peter Gabriel studios for a beat camp, I want to work with you. Normally when you go to the beat camp, you are not supposed to choose. You're not supposed to choose who you work with. They choose for you. But they were kind enough in November to let Jacqueline and me work together. And so Jacqueline came from Brighton, and I came from France, Toulouse. And we did in 3.5 days this piece of music that you will hear in about 14 minutes, right? So maybe I see there's some musicians like Phil. Nice seeing you. So maybe some of you are interested in how we worked. So for instance, I started finding this theme, which was the inner animal. And I started looking at magazines, collecting images that moved me, that were also, I guess, when I do songs, I do them connected to what's going on in my life. And so, because we had COVID and I was a lot at home, I finally dared to get a dog and commit myself to a living being. And so I got my dog, because she's a street dog, so she used to live with the street people, and she was in a shelter. And when I got her, there was this really awkward story where Jamie, my partner, walked her, and suddenly got attacked by the street people, and they said, "You stole our dog. That's our dog." And the police came, and Jamie had to prove that this dog is in the process of being adopted by us, and it's not that we stole the dog. But then Jamie realized that the little dog, she was only 3 months old, was really in love with one of the people from the street. And all the other street people said, you can't keep that dog. She is the dog of, his name was Diabolo, Eric Diabolo. And they said, since he has this dog, he was not taking drugs anymore. He was so much better, and you have to give her back. So Jamie called me and said, like, oh my God, we have a problem because the dog, it belongs to someone and she's in love with this person. And I said, is it true? Do you believe it? And he said, like, yeah, come look. So I went and I saw that this little Phoenix, she's called Phoenix, was really, really in love. Phoenix was in love with this man from the street. And so Jamie and me, we decided that we can't keep a dog that has been stolen or taken away. So what we did is we decided that we're going to give her back to him. So I cried a lot. The guy cried a lot. Oh, it was a disaster. It was really painful because I was already so much in love with Phoenix and my dog. Yeah. So then, long story short, we didn't have the paper yet from the shelter, so we said, you have to go to Eric Diabolo. We said, you have to go to the shelter and you have to ask for the papers and to be the owner of the dog. And so Diabolo said, yeah, but I don't want to go dirty like this, so I need to go and wash myself, so I go tomorrow. And then he said, tomorrow I go after. So every day I would go to this place where I knew the homeless people are, to see Eric, because he didn't have a phone. But I knew at 10 o'clock in the morning, this homeless Eric Diabolo would sit in this spot, and I promised him to bring the dog every morning. And that was heartbreaking because I couldn't leave her with him because we were still responsible. Anyway, long story short, after 5-6 days, he finally sat there in the morning and he said, like, Barbara, they don't want to give me the dog because I am not having a home. So the shelter didn't allow him to have the dog that is originally his dog that someone stole. And so he said to me, but you know what? I found another baby dog and I want you to keep my Phoenix. So long story short, within the COVID time, I ended up with my little princess, Phoenix. And in the time where I thought I have to give her back to the street, I allowed her to sleep in our bed. So now Phoenix sleeps in our bed. And why am I saying all this? Because being so close to an animal, like a big dog, really changed something profoundly in me. I was like suddenly feeling that something that is within me, an animal, was woken up. And I felt this deep urge of natural movement or going to nature and feeling connected to nature and moving and making noises like animals. So just having the dog made me so, I don't know, reconnect with something that I think we are losing in society more and more by being on devices like now and like not being enough in nature and nature dying. So I really felt by living so close to my dog, it provoked lots of big, deep questions. And so when I wrote the song, I wrote a song about the inner animal. And what I found stunning was, because I'm also a mover and a dancer and an actor, I was kind of, I was feeling like suddenly, wow, we have a tailbone, but we don't have a tail. And the dog uses the tail like it's all about expressing himself or herself. And us humans, we don't have that anymore. We just have this tailbone. So, and when you look at the movie Avatar, the movie Avatar is stunning because the movie Avatar, you know, the tribe where they're trying to take away their biotope and the tree of life. In that tribe, those tribe people, they still have a tail, you know? The Navi people, they call the Navi people, and they're really they say the blue flute people. So this song is really a bit dedicated to this movie, Avatar, because that tribe still has that tail and that deep connection. When I'm observing my dog and all the different movements she does with her tail, every movement has a different story that she wants to communicate. And maybe some of you know that I'm also teaching people body language and voice. And I find that we have deeply, deeply, deeply forgotten how to use the body as a channel, as a truthful messenger of our emotions and thoughts. So people are conditioned, they're stiff, they don't express what is really going on. So for me, watching my dog every day and see how amazingly dogs with each other even are communicating so pure, so emotional and so honest, it was really for me a big kickoff to find the theme for the movie, which is the lost tail, because we have only the tailbone, as I said. And also it made me start, I used to be a dancer mover and I'm now 56, but I really felt like, wow, I want to explore and work with my tailbone for movements and go naked into nature and go naked even into the big city like Hamburg and see how people react if I just talk with my body. And so I had this, my nephew, Niklas, who's a great graffiti artist and also a cameraman and also a multimedia artist. So I had him film me in the Elbtunnel, where I was just doing like pure expressions, things that society feels, but no one is expressing it. So it's like numb. People are numb. And so I went into the Elbtunnel and I just unleashed pure emotions about also the time of being even more disconnected because of COVID. I mean, some people had no big changes, right? They had a job and they kept on working. Big companies got tons of money to survive and keep on going. But the arts, honestly, I mean, like even some retail stores were allowed to open, but the arts, as everyone knows, were completely blocked and not allowed. And I really believe that in crisis like the pandemic, the art is one of the places where we could get together, even with the stupid masks, but and maybe with distance, but it's still so important to be together and connect, to not get crazy and psycho and depressed and because as a human race we cannot survive without being connected. A baby cannot walk alone, a baby cannot eat alone. So we do need connections, physical connections. So within the COVID time, it really was painful for me to watch that, and I know it for many years, but to clearly see how many cultures and many governments put the culture and the music last. They just don't give it an important place. And then they wonder that we get more and more depressive people, burnout people, and so on, right? Oh, by the way, do you know my name is because I'm supposed to be the daughter of the moon. Basically, I am a collaborating artist, so I am really loving to make music with others. And so this is why sometimes the songs become more rock or more trance or more ambience or more electro, and I'm not following cleanly progressive rock, which is normally my music, right? I have so many stories to tell you guys. You have to come to one of my concerts because you need to hear the stories and hear the songs about the stories. Actually, I'm planning to make a concert. We are having 2 concerts in Toulouse, but I guess many of you cannot come. But we also plan a big concert in November 2023. That will be definitely with videos and storytelling. So someone said Lunattack has been already on the moon and knows the secret. Yes, I do. I do know secrets. Guys, 30 seconds. It's getting down. We're gonna go and see the premiere, which is 1 year of hard work. And Arnaldo, I love you. Jacqueline, I love you. So I hope I'm on it now.